Hello, my wonderful gastronomy friends. Welcome to Taranaki Foodies, the food show on the Most FM, where we talk about food, garden, hospitality in our beautiful Taranaki, and of course, music. We're recording our show live on a Facebook group called Taranaki Foodies. Join in if you like to peek behind the scenes. In the studio with me today, my co-host Warwick Foy.
Kia ora.
Fellow broadcaster and the chairman of SOBA, National Association of Brewers in New Zealand. And Nathan Griffith, who is responsible for video streaming.
Hello.
And our guest today is Ronan Santos, from the capital of Philippines, Manila. Hi, Ronan.
Hi, everyone.
How was your day today?
Oh, good. Yeah, I did the same thing you put it to experience. Good weather, actually. Not too bad.
So I would like to put a song that was chosen by Ronan. It is called My World by Tim K. Tim's melancholic yet simultaneously uplifting style was spotted by celebrity chef Jamie Oliver. Tim worked at Oliver's 15 restaurants in East London as a waiter, while giggling solo at many of London's live music hotspots. His first single, My World, due to release at the May 2008, was subsequently chosen as the theme music for Channel 4's Jamie's at Home series, which continues to be broadcast across the world. The song has been produced by legendary producer Marius de Vries, who worked with Madonna, Bjork, David Gray. And Jamie Oliver even did his bit by playing the drums. So let's listen to My World by Tim K. So, yeah, it's not. I'd ask you what is special about it for you so you can kind of expand on it.
Why this song? I mean, it's one of those first few months when I arrived in New Zealand.
Pass me the
And it's
remote
one of
for
those
the
things that I'm,
earcon.
listening and I
please.
heard there's a show. I think it's
Welcome.
Channel 2, Channel 1. And then they play this song. It's quite good. And it gives a really quite good mood in terms of cooking. So that's the one that I was using every time whenever I cook at home. I play that song.
Thank you for that, Lord.
Tell me if it's too cold or hot.
No, it'll be fine.
Stuff in here.
I'm always too warm. No problem.
Do we start? Do we wait?
Yes, you can start, no problem.
You can start while it's still warm.
You would be on a
And then let me know, honest opinion on that one. You might need a knife.
he would not
Oh.
only let you know, he would let know everyone who's listening to
Oh,
the show.
Yum. What's underneath?
That's the taro leaves. It's been cooking coconut milk.
Beautiful.
So it's like the Polynesian dishes, the palusami thing. Because the Philippines is very much related to the Polynesians.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Even the numbers that we count is same as the Ontario Maori counting. The waro is it's walo for us. So,
I never knew that.
those are the sad things that you would well, it's sad, I think, because I was looking at, I've been in New Zealand for 10 years, looking around it. If the Filipino cuisine was the first one for the Kiwis, it would be awesome because it has almost the same in terms of palate. The sweetness, the saltiness, the sourness goes there. No spices.
Umami.
Yeah, umami.
Yeah.
It's just been good thing umami has been recognized just in the 80s. It's part of the sense just in the 80s. But
Maybe Japanese food.
yeah, it started with the misa because they can't figure out. Yeah, can't figure out where to categorize. Yeah, that's and then it started umami. So yeah, I like those things. What I do in my truck is quite different. When people tell me that it's a fusion, no, it's not a fusion. It's an infused. So I'm infusing just flavors of Southeast Asian flavor there. The one that I learned is what I did in Oakland, whole Southeast Asian food. That's what I do. So you would see it in my dishes. It's just infusing flavors, but it's more, still has a Kiwi impact on it. Just like the crackling pork that I love doing.
That's a great creativity, isn't it? Because if you do something just according to the recipe, it becomes boring after some time. You have to add stuff.
Yeah, when I started learning things about Kiwi food and the culture itself, started to learn that it should be like this, it should be this, not too much of everything.
30 seconds.
Do you want a glass of water?
No, that's all good. I'm all good. What Warwick likes it, the pork. Haven't tasted the pork. You should try it.
Yeah. Okay.
And welcome back to the studio with Alina Williams, Warwick Foy, Nathan Griffith, and of course Ronan Santos, international foodie from Manila, the person who hates the word chef, and yet he still worked as a chef with many celebrities in Auckland. So, can you please tell me, why have you chosen this song, My World by Team K?
Yep, it's one of the first songs that I came in New Zealand that inspires me whenever I cook at home. It's quite good beat, and that's why. And then I check on the history. Oh, that's why. Then I saw the show of Jamie Oliver. They're using that song. I kind of like it, even the story of the song behind it. So yeah, it keeps me really quite good. It's still in my truck music, so I like it. Keeps me going.
Awesome. So your facial features suggest that you have a mixed ancestry. Can you please tell us what's your heritage?
Yeah, basically, just like the Philippine history, it's been occupied for 300 years of Spaniards. So you get the Santos there, and I think it's how many years of Japanese. So there's an occupancy in Japanese, and the 50 years of Hollywood, which is the American. Okay.
Hollywood, of course.
So you would hear my words, the Kiwi words with an American twang in it. So yeah.
So what is different about Filipinos' food?
When people ask me, when I was in Auckland teaching people how to cook Southeast Asian dishes, what is a Filipino cuisine? You cannot put it in the same scale as the Thai cuisine, the Malaysian cuisine, the Vietnamese cuisine. So those things, you cannot put it on that scale because of the influences that inside the Filipino cuisine. Basically, there's a strong influence of the Spaniards there, the Spanish food, and then the Chinese has always been in every Southeast Asian food. So you would see those bits of pieces there without, I mean, just like tom yum, you got tom yum in Thai. Remove those spices there, it becomes a sinigang in the Filipino cuisine. And then sinigang is also from a tamarind sauce or something. So those things, when you got some of the noodles that you would see in the Malaysia, the laksa, remove again all the spices, you got already those noodles you would see. I guess one of the food truck Filipino lady that sells it, you would see that type of dishes that she cooks there. So just removing all those spices of those Southeast Asia and then put it a little bit of Spanish touch there, it becomes a Filipino cuisine. So when people ask me what is a Filipino dish, it's not there.
Yeah. Wow. So Warwick is the big fan of ramen, you know?
Here we go.
Yeah.
We're
Same
going
here,
to
same
walk
here.
you
I'm with you. Ramen.
So is there any kind of a dish that is like ramen in Filipino cuisine?
Yeah, there is. Such as the lomi, which we call it lomi, but it's not ramen. I mean, ramen is a type of noodles. So, but the noodles that they use is always an egg flour noodles. It's not a gluten-free one, but yeah, those things. Just like the Chinese one, the Samoan one, they have this. What is it? The chop suey.
Oh, chop
You know,
suey.
the chop suey soy sauce with pork.
Yeah.
And then the Filipino, same taste. But the Filipino, what they do, they would put a lot of vegetables, the cabbage, carrots, and then you get the Chinese sausage. You would see the influences, and it's called pancit for us. And then you would have, what is it? The chop suey word for us will be all vegetables, chicken, and prawns. That's why when we first arrived here, even some of the Filipinos, when they first encountered in some of the Pacific festival, they would see chop suey, they would thought that it would be vegetable stir fry, and they would be surprised at looking at it. It's just a vermicelli, soy sauce, and pork, from what I know. So it's quite different, but they use the same word. But ramen, not the ramen specifically, but the noodles.
The noodles, yeah. It's interesting because the Malays have a dish very similar to what you just talked about, possibly also Indonesia with chopped Chinese sausage in there, and the dark, they use the kikat, which is the sweet
Yeah.
soy. So I love the way each country has their own little take on all of these classic dishes.
Yeah, so we have a Facebook group which is called We Need a Ramen Shop.
I would follow that one. Definitely, I would join that.
I'll add you. So yeah, it will be cool to have.
It is. It's a must. It's a ramen shop, a really good ramen shop.
So I tried your food and your food truck, and I've noticed that you use a lot of pork crackling, and your pork crackling is absolutely superb.
Oh.
So is that a kind of like obsession by Filipinos?
It is. It's one of the number one meat in the Philippines is always pork because it's the cheapest one to use. I mean, it's cheaper than the chicken. It's definitely cheaper than beef. When most of my friends back home, when I said beef is a bit good here, oh really? So. But pork is expensive, really. So pork is a major meat that you would use in the Philippines, and having a crackling. If you've tasted the whole roast pig in the Philippines, which is called the chon, that is really shiny skin. It's like the babi guling for the Indonesian ones. It's the same one. It's the same, but without the spice again. Removing all the spice, you got the same thing with the Filipino. It's called the chon. So it's just removing some of the Filipino is just basically stands on the flavor of what is there, and then removing the spice.
I think the whole pig meal aside, most of these dishes are made like you've used one square of pork belly there, so a small amount of meat is made to go a long way, right?
Yeah, it is, and then that's why when I check out where does this chopping invented? Why is it invented? But you know that most of the Southeast Asian country is not really so that Warwick was mentioning. A 500 grams of meat could feed about 100 by just doing a stir fry cut. So
there is a similar dish in Russian cuisine. It's kind of like a roasted pig, and it's a festive dish. So people eat it at a festival, and I think it's a great way to respect the animal because all parts of it are going to be consumed. What are the most favorite Filipino ingredients? Like I know that
aside from the pork.
So the pork, yeah.
Yeah, aside from definitely they'll be playing around with soy sauce again, garlic, and vinegar. If you don't see them on the dishes, you would see them on the side as a condiments. Just like the Vietnamese, they have the fish sauce always on the side and some chilies. So same thing with the Filipino. If you don't see them on the dish, definitely you would see them as a condiments on the side. The soy sauce and vinegar. And a little bit of chili. And calamansi. Calamansi is a citrus fruit.
Calamansi?
Yeah, it's in between yuzu. It's like a yuzu, but it's not, and it's definitely not lime. So it's in between. That it's just like
Citrus.
small.
Oh,
It's quite salt.
So is it used fresh or marinated?
Fresh. Everything is used fresh. And then we Filipino, we love marinating the meat. I mean, aside from a lot of Kiwi friends of mine would always ask me, that it's not really healthy buying meat. Well, we already know that. We were born in the Philippines. We grew up there, and then the meat would always be marinated. The longer, the better. Whatever cooking is going to be made, pan fry, barbecue, it's always minimum of 1 hour marinating to give a really nice flavor.
That's really interesting. So is it in general spicy cuisine or
No, it's
mild?
basically, I would say it's on the sweet and sour side.
Oh wow, sweet and sour.
It's always on the sweet.
That's yum.
I was in a cooking competition down in the foreshore a few years ago, invited from a beer aspect to using beer in the food, and the secret ingredient I used aside from beer was a chili sauce somehow connected with bananas. I just can't quite remember.
Yeah.
But I know it's famously Filipino.
Yeah, banana ketchup or something.
Banana ketchup.
Gives a really nice citrus. It's quite good. I mean,
What is
it's
that?
quite funny. It's red, but it's banana. I mean,
Yeah.
it's banana puree or something.
Yeah, and I don't, if I'm perfectly blunt, I don't think it was that distinctive flavour, but the bottle with the banana on it was distinctive, and that's what,
That's right.
That's what people felt
Oh
for.
yeah. Even the American one, they find it really quite weird.
Yeah.
Banana ketchup.
Yeah.
It's one of these international children, bananas, ketchup, all these things in between.
Because it's sweet.
Yeah.
It's sweet. It's sweet. Really quite sweet. It's more on the sweet side rather than the sour side of the tomato. So, yeah.
So my personal interest, as a Russian, what sort of alcohol is popular in Philippines?
Gin.
Gin.
That's why when I first
Don't tell me that it has been invented.
when I
there.
first met the owner of Juno Gin, and then they live just almost near my place, and they did it. I was one of the first the first edition of the Juno Gin. I bought the whole set. We finished it. Me and my brother we finished it just about 2 days. It's amazing because she knows that we're a gin drinker,
Mhm.
and me and my brother, we have this system, the three of us. We filled up the whole backyard with gin bottles. I think, because I mean, it's rainy. It's a tropical country. When it rains, it really rains. And yeah, the only thing that you can do, you should have something of food on the side. We never drink without food. That's one thing.
I think national associations of beer makers will argue that.
That's right. But yeah, for us, it's always gin because it's the cheapest one. That's again, it's the cheapest alcohol that you could buy in the Philippines. You can pretty much $1 you can buy about a bottle of gin.
Well, it's not the cheapest
Wow.
here.
That's pretty amazing. So, do you make cocktails or
No,
drink it
straight gin. Straight gin.
Is it you or just everyone in Philippines has the same?
Everyone doing with that. It's always the gin that people buy and sits there, and then you got a really nice food in the middle. It's always the food, and then the alcohol will be on the side just to have fun with it. So yeah.
Char kway teow was the mispronounced was the dish I was mentioning from Malaysia.
What is it?
The Chinese sausage. It's the soy sauce, sweetness in there from the kikak. Char kway, Teow.
Don't worry, I'm bad at pronouncing things also. I'm one of those guys who's really quite bad.
Oh, charcuterie.
Yeah, indeed.
I,
You actually can buy
I remember
it.
the first dish that you tasted in my truck was a sisig, which is a pig's head. And traditionally it would be boiled, but for me I smoked them for 4 hours and then minced them manually. So that's the
And I
hard
can tell
labor.
you that makes a big difference because all these things that you put, all the energy you put into the food before putting it.
It's
on
one
the
of those underrated meat. You could buy them for $7. It could feed 30, it could make 30 portions out of it.
It's pretty amazing because your food costs something around $10-11 per portion, right? And can you please talk to us more about your truck? I've been there. I know that it is bright yellow. You cannot miss it if
Yeah.
you
And it's an
passing
ambulance.
by.
Used to be a 2005 Fiat Ducato ambulance.
And it's called Infusion Kitchen. Why Infusion Kitchen?
Infuse. That's like I mentioned earlier. That the infuse is about infusing flavors of the Southeast Asia. Those things that I learned and those things that I love, and my culture is there. Just like the lime, the taro leaves that's or it's been tasting now. So yeah, and I love making, especially because that came from my hometown, my parents, which is the South region of the Philippines, which they love cooking coconut, playing with coconut milk and taro leaves and chilies. So that's why I always make sure that I don't forget where I came from. That's why I put those taro leaves that I kind of like. It's one of my favorite ones. So yeah, it's all about infuse. It's just infusing flavor in those. It's not really a hardcore Filipino dish. It's not really. You cannot tell if it's a Thai cuisine or something, but you could tell that there's a kiwi touch flavor, the crackling, the pork. You could say that that's the kiwi one, infusing flavor that Southeast Asian people have.
I think we all witnessed the birth of a new Kiwi cuisine because there is no such a thing as the Kiwi dish except probably Maori dishes, but in combined the whole lot New Zealand cuisine is born now with the influence of many immigrants, including you.
Well, I hope so, but yeah, it's just for me. It's just loving the food, enjoying when people ask me, "Do you earn money?" And I'm no, hell no. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, but no, because I mean the ingredients that I use is free range, grass fed meat. I mean people are, especially the size of it, and then I want to make sure it looks like a restaurant in a food truck rather than, you know what it looks like when it's the traditional food truck style, just hang on stuff. When people ask me, never miss, in always event, whenever I go, they always ask, "Do you have any chips?" Sorry, I don't sell chips in my truck. I try to avoid deep fried ones.
Yeah.
Not to, but I love. No, personally, I love deep fried ones. I love it. But it's just me. I'm trying to promote
Healthy.
healthy, eco-friendly, because I use a biodegradable things, and you know, it's been planned already for a year before I finish my contract with WIT. So it's been thought of what do I need to do with my truck. I want to be edgy. Anytime, what is it? Solar run. So whenever it's not plugged, it runs in solar panels. Yeah, it's quite
so you
an
have solar panels on.
yeah, it's quite an ambitious truck. Yeah, that's why my wife is so.
I like
asking.
that ambitious truck.
It is an ambitious truck. It's not really. It's a serious one. That's why.
You're more polite than me. If they were asking me for chips, I'd say, "Why do you want chips? Chips anytime. Here's a chance to not have chips and to try something
Absolutely.
new, something different."
Yeah, and probably have the combinations of all nutrients like proteins, carbs, all fats and things like that that are good for you, probably.
And then people would always ask, "How come you don't have pictures in your truck. I keep on seeing a lot of comments, and you should have pictures in your truck. And then there was one time I told a lady that when you go to a fine dining restaurant, do you see a picture on the menu? No. So that's the essence of what I do here. I want people to be surprised. Because one thing that I love when you see the reaction, where did you get those? When a guy ordered something from me, walked there, is it the one from that truck? Yeah, that's the thing. That's a really nice for me. That's an accomplishment for me that I made it. So that
You have no excuse to complain about the lack of pictures. You know a person who is really good with the social media photographs. So yeah, invite me at any time. So you mentioned that you were working with wheat for a while. What have you been doing?
I'm managing the garage cafe there for, I think it's 9 or 10 months ago. It's fun.
What's the principle of garage cafe? Because it's on the territory of wheat. Is it for
Yeah.
students or?
That is just being run by the students. They have a full experience of what it feels like in a cafe, and then dealing with the chef, and then learning the health and safety thing, the hygienic thing.
So anyone can come, not only students, anyone from outside and.
Yeah, everybody could, and it's good quality the ingredients that they use there, and it's just bear with it's all students. You would get a hit and miss coffee, you would get but still, good product is there. They try their best to make it really good for the customer, and then once in a while you'll get customers that doesn't know that it's a studying cafe, so people would complain. You get to, I mean, you would see.
But they learn how to deal with complaints as well, so it's part
They
of the
they need
job.
they need to learn those things, and they would just come back me sometimes at the back kitchen. They're quite mean. They would just do those things, and that's all right. It's part of it. You just need to how to overcome those things. So yeah.
There are constructive people too, aren't there, who do understand what's going on and say, look, I really like the way that you presented it to me, but it's cold.
Yeah.
So just get that part right, and you'll be doing a good job.
So I saw your trucks on the lawns, and the car parks, and the fairs and private events, and basically everywhere. So what's the principle of your truck? Originally you were parked in front of the Speedy signs.
Yeah.
And I actually told a lot of people to go there, and then they went
Sorry
and they couldn't
about that.
find you.
I'm the one when I had the surgery last year. Before my surgery, I told the owner of Speedy Sign. They're really quite good people. It's free. They let me do this thing, but I told them I need to stop because I will have a surgery. So after that, never go back. But hopefully, I could find a good spot again in the city for the lunchtime because I just wanted those 3 hours, just those 3 hours, and then that's it for me. One thing that's why I created the food truck. I don't want to work too much. I don't want to work in a restaurant full on 12 hours, 8 hours thing. That's why I created the truck. I could be more flexible. That's why I do weddings. I love weddings. It's one of the best ones. I love weddings.
Do you cry?
No, it's just that because it's a sure sale. That's
Yeah.
one thing. And then the thing is that you can talk to the couple serving those dishes that they want, and then being flexible of the menu that I create. So those things that I like doing. And then especially in PDC, I like because they always invite me in their events. I could always have the prerogative. I could say yes or no, but most of the time I would
That's
say
a great
yes.
collaboration with New Plymouth District Council. So NPDC loves you, right?
Well, I hope so because I'm trying to be obedient with their policies and stuff. I try to make sure that I follow those rules. Because when the truck was created, it was basically patterned on Wellington's policy and Oakland policy in terms of how it was laid out and all those things. So yeah.
Oh, awesome.
I was just going to ask, Alina, how many trucks are locally based here now, food trucks?
I think it's about around 12, and some
Wow.
people have like a restaurant and a truck, for example, or some people have like a semi-truck, so they have a oven that they kind of drag behind their car, which is Pizza Pirates
Yes,
doing.
yes.
So it's about 12 solid
That's
food
great.
trucks and some kind of in-betweens.
And good diversity across those 12, right?
Yes, they represent so many different cuisines, and we should do a program only on the food trucks. I think
Yeah,
this would be
absolutely.
fun.
The newest one was the toasty guy. Have you tried it?
No, I read about it in the paper.
Yeah, I saw it. Oh, that's quite good. We got a
Yeah.
toasty guy for people who is getting drunk off something like that.
Yeah, he's working late hours, but I know that I met a student who I work with, and he helps her. He gives her some work experience, and he's a really great guy. He's another guy to have on.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
sure.
we can
Yeah,
schedule.
it's quite good. When I read the article, it's really quite good
Yeah,
article.
that'd be great.
Yeah, I must admit we have like a linkage up about 2 months ahead for our shows. So Roland was
Yeah.
approached 2 months ago, and finally it happened. So yeah, very cool. So I think it's a perfect time to put a group called 660 and their piece called White Lines. So it is a New Zealand band of 5 that was formed in 2008. Their self-titled debut album was released in October 2011, and they used their own label, Massive Entertainment. How brave, isn't it? The album was produced and mixed by Tiki Tani and debuted at #1 in New Zealand charts and was certified gold within its first week of release, which is amazing. The first singles, Rise Up 2.0 and Don't Forget Your Roots, reached #1 and #2 respectively on RIANZ singles chart and were both certified double and triple platinum. In 2018, the band won 5 Vodafone New Zealand Music Awards and were the most streamed artist by New Zealanders on Spotify. That's an achievement, isn't it? On 23rd of February 2019, 660 became the first New Zealand band to play a sold-out concert at the iconic Western Springs Stadium to a crowd of 50,000 fans. And just listen to those rhymes. White line and the blue skies. Who told you that you can't fly? White line all the time. Who told you that we can't fly?
Remarkable. Now, sorry to break into the moment, but I just had a technical problem with your source there.
Okay.
So fingers crossed that the backup plan is going to work.
Yes, let's experiment with it.
So, here we go.
Thank you.
It's not. Well, it doesn't want to play.
Yeah, so which one did
Oh,
you?
2 and 3. So I've got it on YouTube, and I'll just find the next one on
Right.
YouTube as
Does
well.
it work from this one?
I didn't try that. I'll have a look at that.
Maybe change the position.
Oh, first I'll see on here. So it's Noipi Bay.
The next one is Noipi.
Now that would be hard for you guys because it's a Filipino language.
That's alright. I
It's
think
a rock band before.
it enriches the brains listening to the words in foreign language.
Doesn't want to play.
Don't wanna play.
I'll just find it on there. It's okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's
This
okay.
is pretty amazing. So, will you be ready to do a little bit of a review of the food?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll just give you
scared now.
my that is what that soba actually stands for, just so you know.
No, Society
Is
of
it the
Care.
little one? So bad.
Thank you for
Soba,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I'll use it in the next
Have you
time.
seen some of the labels? They put soba noodles. That say noodle in English.
yeah.
Is it?
That's. I'll get this. I'll show you.
Yeah, sure. We should do the ramen one. Actually, one of the
If you have a photo, you can
Yeah.
try it.
Okay.
You sure one it's still? I think hopefully it's still good because it's about to get cold now.
That's our magazine.
Ooh,
You should come to the event because
I should.
guys like that really like.
I
they
could
would
eat
like
ramen
the
every
food.
day.
Ramen actually doesn't go with beer. I think that beer needs something chewy.
I agree. It goes with hangovers.
Sake. It goes with sake.
Yeah, it does.
Should do.
It does. I tasted one of the good ones because my boss was a Japanese in Oakland. Alright, that was really quite good.
So after the break, we will talk about her and we will.
Oh yeah,
you'll
she's
give her a
happy
good
because
shout
I
out.
told her. Are you okay to mention that your business there, bosses?
Make sure you leave some, Nathan.
No, eat it all. don't scare Nathan.
I like it. It's quite uplifting song.
That filling Western Springs, that's unbelievable. No, that no one else. That's Dire
Yeah.
Straits, David Bowie, Queen. It's not the New Zealand band.
I watched it on YouTube. These guys are awesome.
Yeah, that's a great achievement.
And it's really Kiwi. I mean,
Yeah, it's a Kiwi
who
band.
told you we can't fly or something? Something like that. It's just an expression by saying that. Aside from my boys, that's his favorite song.
Your boy probably put different meaning to the adults because when I hear that. So, welcome back to the studio with Alina Williams, Warwick Fool, Nathan Griffin, and of course Ronan Santos, international foodie from Manila. So, we just listened to White Lines by 660, and it has a wonderful rhyme. What is special about the song for you?
Aside from that, it's quite obvious that the Kiwi song, it really expresses how Kiwi culture is and then how we survive with things. And you could tell by the lyrics, and aside from really quite good beat.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, whenever I cook, it's one of those selection songs that I put on. Gives you a really nice movement in the kitchen. I don't cook without music. That's one thing.
That's really cool. I mean, every person probably finds different meaning in the lyrics. So you said that your son loved it. He probably just like the
You keep on dancing.
melody.
Yeah. He loves dancing while I'm cooking.
Yeah. So white lines could be outer or beautiful clouds, or it could be the jet line. You know, when you look at the sky and jet passes by, it's a beautiful line, and you're here just watching the world. Or it could be something referred to the drug use, like a line of cocaine. So what do you think actually it meant?
What for me, yeah, like I said, it's not really about what it meant. It's all when I first heard it. It's just me and music. Whenever I hear something, it's basically on the rhythm for me. Then the lyrics will come after, and that's the time I started realizing the lyrics. But for me, it's just the rhythm. Whenever I choose a music, it's always about the rhythm to get me up going whenever I cook.
Mm-hmm.
But when you mention about the white lines and all those things, for me, it's just basically the first part of the chorus is just basically it tells how Kiwi express themselves as a Kiwi. That's one thing. That's it. That's all I need to know on that song. And then the rest, it's all rhythm. I love the rhythm. I keep on the rhythm while I'm cooking.
I mean, being a chef is quite a hard profession.
It
A lot
is.
of people feel the pressure, especially if they work in a big restaurants or very famous restaurants. So lots of them are, for example, undernourished. They don't eat food they cook. A lot of them consume a lot of alcohol or use drugs. Did you have any experience of that?
Definitely experience for me whenever I cook, I don't get hungry. I would get hungry after 4 hours of my shift, and then the only open that you would see on nighttime would be definitely those branded ones. So you'll be forced to eat those just to get those craving ones. So yeah, the hunger kicks in after 4 hours for me personally. That's why when people are, how come you're so skinny?
Are you grabbing McDonald's after work?
I'm not mentioning anything, but yeah, those anything that is open between 11 or something. So yeah.
Oh, that's pretty. So you brought your food
And
today.
ramen. Actually, ramen is open at around 1 a.m.
Which is your favourite ramen shop in Auckland?
The one in Ponsonby, the one I was mentioning, it's a chop chop. It's a fusion of the Western, because it's made fresh. The buckwheat noodles that they
What is it
use.
called?
Buckwheat ramen. I mean, he calls it buckwheat ramen. I think it's chop chop.
Chop chop. Oh.
It's really quite good. They got a really nice big slab of crispy pork belly on top. The really nice stock soup there. Really quite good.
Mm-hmm.
You
Awesome.
enjoyed it.
So you brought some food with you today in the best Taranaki Foodies tradition. What did you bring with you?
It's the version of the Filipino have their own versions of adobo, which is a braising pork in soy sauce and vinegar and garlic. So those are the things that each home had their own version, and you can't tell which one is good, which one is bad. I mean, it's really
It's
What?
different.
different. So what I did is just what I learned as a chef, taking all those techniques that I learned and putting the flavors in it, and then putting my culture, which is the taro leaves, which is the laing, or the some of the Polynesians call it palusami, cooking coconut milk, and then some shrimp paste. That you would see the Southeast Asian flavor, the shrimp paste that you're tasting it. It's not salt, it's the shrimp paste.
Are you really particular about the shrimp paste? Because I know in some countries and some chefs, the shrimp paste is everything. You don't just buy it off the shelf. You have to source it from a specific place.
That's the thing about in New Zealand. You just have to whatever is there to use, and then make you sure that how you use it properly, and then make sure it's really good quality. That's one thing. Because the shrimp paste that we have here, the one that you would buy in a plastic tumbler like that, it's not as good as the one that you would buy in Southeast Asia, and it's not as bad smell that you would smell one really in Malaysia. You could pretty much almost vomit on that one because of the smell, but it's amazing. the flavor was quite good. But you could use the one that we have here. The one that I use is the one in top.
Yeah.
Plus, and then there's another one which is a Filipino one that I need to use. It's a must for me to use because it's a Filipino dish. In that sense, that's why I need to use it. So infusing all those flavors, putting in those taro leaves, it cooks about an hour and a half. I mean, slowly cook. I've learned some of the, working with some of the European chef or Kiwi chef, I've noticed how they cook the coconut milk. It's just, once it heats up, it's all good. For us, once you could smell the oil of the coconut, that means for us it's really quite good cooking for the coconut milk.
Is that when you can see it start to separate out? Or is that
That's
the point
right.
at
When
which
I
you-
started, that's the
Wow.
best one when you start to see
We're impressed
separate.
with
Really quite good. Yeah, that's how you see the indication that you're really quite good. And there's a part that you don't steer them, and there's a part that you need to steer them.
You've got to be patient.
It's all about patience. You would see all those traditional people. You could pretty much watch anything on YouTube. You would see most of the old people who cooks it. They have the time for them to stir it, rather than not to touch it. It's like vinegar. People doesn't know how to cook vinegar properly. It's like one, when you put them, don't stir them, because it really depletes the purpose of releasing the sugar. So same thing with vinegar. When you put the vinegar, let it boil. Let it until it's got about 2 minutes, and then that's the time you start stirring.
That's a really good tip.
And
So
then
what
it's-
was the name of the dish, the title of the dish you brought?
for me, it's just bracing. I mean, the one that bracing pork belly.
roast pork.
I don't want to put some name on it because it's not really adobo.
Oh, adobo.
When people Filipino try to taste it, this is not adobo. It's not adobo. It has an infuse of adobo flavor.
Modification.
It's a
Kiwi
modification that I love using.
So we had two people today in the studio who is going to give you a review.
Oh boy.
Yes, so it's Warwick and Nathan. So is anyone ready?
Well, I finished mine.
Alright.
It was delicious. So, firstly, I think you captured it on the camera there, Nathan. But the presentation was beautiful. So it's the rice and then the taro leaves, which I don't know the correct name that you mentioned. Sorry.
The lying one. Lying.
Line,
Yeah.
and then the square of pork on the top. So beautiful presentation. So then you around the edges a little bit of each of the flavors, and then before you dive into the big square of pork. And what I picked up was a nice sweetness running through it, but also a tartness, and then a sort of a funky, which is the shrimp paste probably, that umami that we mentioned. So yeah, a lovely mixture of different flavors. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
How complex? Well done.
Yeah,
so
very
obviously.
Different components. That's why I mean it's good. It's good money for it because that one I always sell it for $12.
Yeah. So Nathan, what do you think of this?
I like the dish. Those taro leaves taste a lot like cabbage, and I love cabbage. The meat was really nice and juicy, and also crunchy. And there was a lot of colours in the dish. It was really enjoyable. It still is.
Thank you.
Well, thank you,
That's right.
thank you very much for your review. So, Ronan, you had a great career in Auckland before moving to Taranaki. Tell us more about it. Where did you work?
Well, while moving in Taranaki, my wife got a good offer here in she works at Taranaki. She manages the front of the house.
It's lovely.
And she looks like people always thought that she's Chinese or Korean. So no, she's a Filipina, short haired lady. Holy shit, what lovely lady. How do you
That's
want?
why you married her.
Yeah, because I'm quite lucky. But yeah, we moved here because of she got a good offer, and then I'm a chef and quite flexible. At the same time, we got a 4-year-old boy, and you know what Oakland is. I mean, it's the traffic and stuff. We started thinking about moving out of Oakland anyway, and then come up with a good business. Thinking about business now, creating my own business. The food truck ideas is originally from Oakland that I really want to do. Even my previous employer, which is Sachi's Kitchen.
Sachi's Kitchen is quite famous with the ethnic cuisines, and I'm quite dying.
We used to have a TV show. I think that was started 2013 or 14. We have a TV show.
Were you on TV?
No, we were just at the background. You know, so she doesn't want us to see her doing it, so we keep on hiding. But yeah, we used to have everything. While she's doing that show, I'm the one who's managing the kitchen. The kitchen is the first Asian cooking school in Oakland, and we basically the clients are basically corporate people, so they go there to have fun cooking. So it's like a master chef cooking for them. So what
It's
I do,
really cool because I think
It
that
is.
just drinking in the bar is so outdated.
and those couple is really quite Sachi and Nick. They're really quite wit about what they did with the idea, letting those people feel how it feels to be in a master chef. Because I mean, pretty much it's a full-on cooking. For 4.5 hours, you'll be hearing me shouting. You got 5 minutes, guys. I want those dishes on those veggies, nice, tidy, and you would see it's a good cooking, but you can see the difference. The biggest crowd that I've done is the 200 people, which is the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh wow.
The Conference of Chamber of Commerce. That's why
In
I met.
Auckland Chamber.
Yeah, the entire New Zealand is there. So that's why I met Daniel Fleming from King and Queen, and he's the one who really was go to implement, set up. That's really quite good.
Thank you, Daniel Fleming.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's why when
He's a
I
good
came.
ambassador.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I met him there, and then they were quite happy with what I did because I just showed Vietnamese cooking how it was done, and then after that they demonstrate their dishes in 35 minutes, and then the rest of the hours they got 45 minutes to cook those 3 dishes.
Wow, that's
So-
fast.
It is quite, and it's group cooking, and it's fun. And then what else you could do? While drinking and cooking, that's fun, right? That's the only place that you could do it, and it's quite good because we're using induction. By law, it's quite safe because there's no fire. So yeah, they were, as long as they don't cut their fingers. But yeah, it's fun. It's a fun environment. And the most thing that I mentioned today is the hens party. I'm the only guy I think in New Zealand could say that I attended 200 plus hens party. It's amazing.
But what is it like to cook on induction? I don't see induction or conventional electric hobs in any restaurant kitchen. I see gas.
No, there's I think there's 2 Gordon Ramsay restaurants that has a specific induction area for a specific dish. But yeah, before I was trained in a gas environment, and then I need to cope up with that, how to cook, how to balance those things. You cannot do those things that you flipping the pan. No, you will break those things. Definitely you can't do those things. So you got those bad habits. Then you were doing it, still doing it in the induction, and just scratching the induction. My boss, we call her boss. She doesn't hate to be called Sad. We always call her boss. She hates me so much because I keep on scratching it because I keep on doing that, scratching it. But you get to learn it. You get to adapt on those things. It's quite fun when you get to learn and adapt how to use an induction, because it's basically the menu they created there. It's like a home cooking thing. You just need to show it how to cook it properly. So those things.
Did it all originated from Japanese cuisine? Because such is
Yeah, we
Japanese.
started in the Japanese cuisine, and then when I jumped in the kitchen, because I'm one of the first ones, and then we started formulating menus for the Southeast Asia. And then part of my job, which is a really quite hard one, is she gives me budget to travel around Southeast Asia just to learn and orient myself again in the cuisine.
Wow,
I know
that's an amazing job.
It's a hard job, right? Traveling Southeast Asia. And yeah, so that's what I do. Yeah, it's good. Actually, it's a bubbly team.
Yeah. So during this TV series, you worked with a number of celebrities. Whom did you work with?
There was a project that she created, Sachi. It's called Brigade 6. These are the 6 known chefs, local. That's Warren Turnbull. That was the time that they were creating the World Cup 2011, I think. It was 2012.
2011, yeah.
The chef that created the menu for that was one of them is Warren Turnbull, and then the rest is Hayden, and the other one who used to be a judge in My Kitchen Rules, the Soul, and then the other one was, I forgot their names, but yeah,
Big names.
those things, and then I'm quite one of those lucky chefs that worked with Al Brown.
All Brown. Oh wow, how could you forget?
Yeah, because of the
With Nadia.
Mind Food. Is it the Mind Food magazine? Because they were there. I'm quite one of those lucky guy that works with him and learn some of his dishes. So those people, they used to be the executive chef of Clooney's. So Des Harris, he's one of those. Those things you get as a chef. For me, I learn things by looking. So learning those techniques that they do, what they do in the kitchen, I get to adopt it, which is quite good for me. So yeah, one of those lucky guys.
So what is the chef celebrity from around the world that inspires you?
Well, that inspires me. Well, the technique that they use, you would go, oh, is that how it was done? So that's how it was done. Those
Still in secrets.
yeah, how they present it on the plate, what is inside those sauces that they put, so how it was keep on steady and so glossy and steady. Those things, simple techniques that you would learn for those things. And sometimes I get to teach it, pass it along whenever I got someone cooking with me. So yeah.
awesome. So I'll have the last question for you. So in a retrospect, if you would change something in your personal life choices or in your career, what would it be?
I think nothing, because all these things are happening for a reason. All these things, but I know nothing. I like it. The challenges, the difficulty, it's there. I mean, I like those difficult things because you get to overcome again those things. That's why it's there in front of you. So no, nothing.
So we're going to listen to the last song, which is Noipi by Bamboo,
Yeah.
and it's quite an interesting. I said that it was the last question, but I lied. This is the last question.
Okay.
What is this special about this song for you? I'm going to read the lyrics, and you
Yeah.
can tell me. So it's a translation because originally the song is in Philippine language. So it's, hey, I'm Filipino. My will is strong. My blood has an amulet.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's a
oh.
mana. Something like a mana.
I'm a Filipino, my blood has an amulet. I dove through the ocean, I traveled the globe. It was all in my heart, the thing I was looking for. There were a lot of times that I almost died. Oh, I know the secret, that's why I'm still here alive. Hey, they say I have a lucky charm. Noipi by Bamboo. So what's about the song?
Yeah, it is. It does. The translation was really quite spot on that one. It's all about how Filipino around the world being resilient with everything. I mean, that's one of the things that every Filipino will tell you, that quite resilient. Whatever is there, they're being flexible. They could adapt whatever places they go to. So same with goes with. So that just reminds me of my culture. So yeah, the song itself.
Awesome. Let's listen to Noipi by Bamboo. Awesome. This wasn't too hard, wasn't it?
Yeah, thanks guys.
Are we coming back? Or?
I'll just say bye-bye, and the last bye-byes, and then we'll go. Are you, do you need to run?
Not today, no. I was hoping you're going to ask me about my favourite chef.
Maybe you should be a guest one day. How about that?
Okay.
Would you want to be a guest? So,
My favourite chef is Rick Stein.
Rick Stein.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's because he's so respectful to the food and the people. It's not about him, whereas all the others, it's all about them.
He's a real gentleman, and he's such a grounding man.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I like it. I love it. I got, I think, the 4 seasons of my, I like it. I like Rick Stein is one of the best ones.
But I mean, each chef has their own style and
Yeah.
kind of uniqueness, and that's why they become. If someone tries to copy them, it's kind of already a copycat.
True. Yeah, I like Jamie Oliver also. You might say that Rick Stein, apart from his seafood restaurant in Cornwall, he really just cooks the local food in an English way, but that's okay. It's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
entertaining.
And I think during that time when Jamie started to be a boom in all publicists or something, even in TV, that's the time that the word rustic becomes really quite good in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Rustic word.
Yeah.
Before it wasn't used as a positive thing, but now it becomes a positive. Oh, that's rustic.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
true.
I think from that time that the word rustic becomes a positive word in the kitchen. During that time, from what I know.
He demonstrates that in his Italian TV series. I know he's done more than one, but I've got the book of it, and he's like cooking on a fire. The shepherd's wandering past is rustic. Yeah.
I also think that English cuisine is so underestimated because we know only a few dishes. And for example, English cheeses are amazing. I actually like them more than French cheeses.
Yeah,
and,
I agree.
so when I was in England, it was a discovery for me. I
Yeah.
didn't realize how English cuisine is actually
Yeah.
very good and nourishing. And it's much more than roast and three veggies. There are so many different things, especially the old English cuisine, the rustic ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I still got some of the old cookbooks that I love going to shops. So I would buy those cookbooks, old cookbooks.
Yeah.
I buy those. I still got the Gordon Blue 1985 cookbooks. It's $10 for $1.
Yeah.
And it's really quite heavy. I bought the whole curriculum thing, and then it's still with me. You would see those classic. I mean, it's not colored or something. It's just black and white.
The Jamie Oliver book I'm talking about, I paid $3 for that. $2.
I got I think 6 or 7 Jamie Oliver cookbooks. I like the guy. Even though they said he's not one of the best chefs in the world, but I like the guy. I like the way he cooks.
I'm not a big fan of Gordon Ramsay because I generally just dislike people who are rude, and I think he's just rude. I know he's a good chef, but
Yeah, he's just being polite with he's got this TV show with his kids.
Yeah.
It feels weird. Polite.
it's just no excuse for.
It's a long-term discussion whether it's a show off or real personality.
Oh, I think definitely there's
Something in the personality.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, definitely. He's paid millions. He was being paid for millions just to be rude, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
My son really likes cooking. Is it all?
40 seconds.
Okay. I'll just say
But
bye-bye.
thanks, guys, for having me here.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for enjoying my food. Thank you.
Delicious.
Hopefully next time I'll pop in just to give you the beef.
Yeah, do it.
I'll have this one. I'll look into the soda one.
You take it away.
But I haven't tried the Ruby Cafe yet. I'll go there.
We should go together. We should go together to a new place. There is a sushi here that they do Korean ramen.
10 seconds.
It was Noibi by Bamboo. Thank you very much for listening to Taranaki Foodies. Our guest was Ronan Santos, a foodie, an international foodie from Manila. In the studio today, Alina Williams, Warwick Foy, and Nathan Griffith as videographer. Tune in to 100.4 FM every Saturday at 4 p.m. Remember, there is a live recording of the Today interview online on Taranaki Foodies group page on Facebook, or just Google Alina Williams. Meet you next Saturday on Airwaves. Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.